And to GBTV, the network that you are building. Hey, who would have seen this coming? Greece is on fire. We'll show you the cool Nazi stuff going on there, too. The Nazis are growing in power. We'll show that to you here in just a minute. But also, we have to tell you about the Occupy Wall Street that attempted some terrorist attacks last week. We have an update on that one. But here's what I want you to remember. This is important. The Tea Party is the answer. When the Tea Party came into existence and held its first major rallies all across the country on Tax Day 2009, we never saw it coming, the media's first reaction. It was first to ignore it and then give them no coverage. But when they realized on 9/12/2009 the Tea Party wasn't going away, they then turned to mockery and a weird fascination with perverted teabag sex jokes. Also, fear-mongering. Every day we were told, strangely, we didn't understand why at the time, that the protests would cause angry, anti-government, racist, right-wing extremists to lash out in violence. And it was nonstop. Watch.
My fear is that the Tea Party gets a charismatic leader. Because all they're selling is fear and anger.
Right.
And that's all Hitler sold.
I mean, here you have a man of color in the presidency and white people showing up with guns strapped to their waists.
I'm not going to be surprised if we see somebody get a chance and take a chance and really try to hurt him.
And if you're unwilling to cut defense and give up the empire, you don't really care about the debt. And you have to admit you're just a racist, sore loser. Here's your hat.
The new right, an emerging fact of life in 21st century America. Tea parties, birthers, patriot groups, militias. Their common enemy, the President of the United States, Barack Obama.
Okay. You are going to understand why they did this tonight, why it was important to do this. It's going to come together for you. What they tried to do is they tried to wish Tea Party violence into existence. They even made up stories. I was responsible for the death of somebody going door to door. I mean, it was incredible what happened. Yet nothing happened. They didn't even leave trash bags laying around. We cleaned the National Mall. It was nicer when we left than it was when we got there. The reality was the exact opposite that the media portrayed. But the lies still continue. In the Southern Poverty Law Center Spring 2012 intelligence report on America's hate groups, one of the biggest concerns they highlight is the stunning growth in the Patriot group. They define the Patriot movement as, quote, conspiracy-minded groups that see the federal government as their primary enemy. Now that's interesting. They say that this Patriot group and this Patriot movement has grown 755% in the last 3 years alone. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Now, the Southern Poverty Law Center's mission says, quote, we track the activities of hate groups and domestic terrorists across America, and we launch innovative lawsuits that seek to destroy networks of radical extremists. So, of course, they're monitoring Occupy Wall Street, right? Because that thing's spreading like wildfire. No. When the National Review called and asked them, do you have plans on start tracking the Occupy Wall Street movement? Especially in the light of the fact that one of the occupiers in Cleveland was arrested with 4 others, and they were trying to blow up a bridge. That is the definition of domestic terror. The answer was no. And the reason they provided was because, well, we only deal with groups that have, quote, a hatred of people based on class characteristics. Wouldn't it be like rich and poor? Wouldn't it be like the 99 against the 1%? Isn't that? No. According to them, that's just a person's eye or skin color. The source also said that the SPLC only tracks those who, quote, commit violence or seek to destroy whole systems in the name of ideology. Okay, this is exactly what they're doing at Occupy Wall Street and Occupy Cleveland and Occupy Chicago, L.A., San Francisco, Oakland. When the spokesperson finally gave an honest answer, we knew the truth. Quote, "We're not really set up to cover the extreme left," and added that they only cover left-wing groups when there's a right-wing component to them. Oh, okay, well, you have tons of credibility now. So what are they doing? They're marginalizing, they're isolating and polarizing. And they're also at the same time trying to keep Occupy off the history books in a bad way. Why? Because Occupy is going to play a crucial, crucial role. If what happened in Cleveland happened in the Tea Party, you and I both know that the networks would be wall to wall. The Tea Party is boiling over. They already did go wall to wall, even though it was a bunch of average Joes hanging out with grandma in their lawn chairs. Last week, it was discovered that 5 Occupy Cleveland protesters, 5, were arrested for buying C4 and bombs from an undercover agent and then trying to blow up a bridge. They actually took the fake bombs they thought were real and placed them under the bridge. Here's your update today. This wasn't some infiltrators who weren't really part of the group. One of the 5 suspects, Anthony Hain, was actually the person who signed the lease on Occupy Cleveland's warehouse headquarters. Well, so then you're not a nobody if you're signing the lease. Not only that, once the occupiers learned of the arrest, they were concerned. About violence? No. Let's go to the videotape. This was videotaped by one of their members last week.
We have a person facing terrorism charges on one of our leases. You know? No matter if we switch it or not, we have a potential media disaster, right? Can we all agree that spending $600 on a warehouse, even though if we switch the name of the lease, if this were to get out, isn't that a potential huge problem?
It would be if the media wasn't complicit. So they immediately tried to switch this guy's name off the lease and replace it with someone else's name. All right, play a game with me. You're a news editor, and someone brings you a story of an actual terrorist who tried to blow up a bridge in Cleveland and had signed a lease for the official headquarters of a major movement. And then the group is on videotape saying, this is a huge problem for us if anybody finds out. And they try to cover up the lease. Do you, as the news editor, cover that? Yeah. Obviously, that's huge news. Anyone without an agenda would see the news value in covering it. But they're not. Why?